whatever age you start, right? And then you have to take it slowly, and then there'll be a lot of accents, you know, like American accent or a Australian accent, which are more sidey by nature automatically. And even like in England, a lot of Cockney or this or that, okay, or any other place in Europe. And see, the thing is, like, when you start learning Sanskrit, even like if people start learning Sanskrit and try to learn Sanskrit, and they have to learn the alphabet first, right? And you have to speak it properly, the alphabet. Okay, so if you start speaking the alphabet properly, then you will have to actually be centered anyways to be able to speak that alphabet properly. So it's just like learning a new language, and for a first time, but it takes work and it will be slow, but you have to take it, that thing. And if you start with the posture, then the speech thing will follow more easier if you start with the posture first. Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
I would love to know about the Vedic astrology, or are we going to get onto that later?
Now, what about Vedic astrology?
I don't know anything about it, so
Okay.
an introduction would be brilliant, I think.
Okay. You can try and say that again slowly.
An introduction would be brilliant.
And like, so we'll all say it. An introduction will be brilliant. Brilliant. Okay. So, see, when you say Vedic astrology, okay, then you're talking about the term Vedic. Okay. So, Vedic is an umbrella term for all, like, basically art of living, basically. Like how do you live a human life in this human body on this particular plane of existence. Okay. So you have posture, speech, like Ayurveda, which is the science of life. Ayu means life, your lifespan, which is become more science of herbs now. And Jyotish, Vedic astrology, which is Sanskrit term for it is Jyotish, is a part of that whole, which is Vedic. Whole with a W. So now we know what is holy. When in English, when you use the word holy, it's HOLY, right? Then W is missing in that. That W is silent, but it is there in front of it. But that has been taken out, so you don't actually understand what is holy. What is holy is holy. WHOLY. That is holy. When you deal with the whole, then only you are being holy. Okay, holistic. Okay, so Vedic astrology is a part of that whole called Vedic. So unless you go for the whole, there's no point going for a part. Okay, just like no machine works in bit parts. If you make just an engine, you don't have the carburetor or that thing, it will not work, right? So you have to go for it as a whole. Okay, so what I gave you right now actually was an introduction to Vedic astrology only. Okay, like because you are learning something Vedic. That's how the rishis in the ancient times used to teach the students first. They used to teach them posture and speech, which is what's called Ucharan. Say Ucharan. 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 Which in English is pronunciation. Pronunciation. They used to teach that first. Okay. And then any other sciences came next. And when you start even learning Vedic astrology, and then you'll come across a lot of Sanskrit terms. Now you will have to pronounce them. You will have to speak them out. And how are you going to be able to do that if you are not being able to center your mouth? Yeah. So grounding and that. So like connecting with nature and centering. That puts you in the right frame of mind to understand a divine science like Jyotish, Vedic astrology. Okay. So for that, like a being, when you start doing that and you start taking care of yourself with your what you put in your mouth through, like we talked about what comes out of your mouth through your speech, right? But then comes what you put into your mouth too. So which is called right diet, right posture, okay, right speech. Then you are ready for learning any Vedic science. Okay.
I just wanted to ask if there is like a book that explains all of this really well, like that we can read. So I'd like to read a book about it.
Okay.
Get as much information as I
Okay,
can.
book. Okay. I mean, the thing with the book is like there's a like I have a book called Peace Gita. Okay.
Yeah.
Like you start with that for understanding Vedic things. Okay. Because if you don't understand Vedic things, you can't go towards Vedic astrology.
Yeah.
Really. Okay. Because Vedic comes as like a whole. It doesn't come in parts. It bits and parts. Like even if whatever you're doing out here, you're interested in all kinds of things like yoga or whatever. You are basically trying to move towards the Vedic thing only. When people in the West even start becoming vegetarian or vegan or anything, that was just a move towards the Vedic thing only, actually,
yeah.
in real terms. Okay, so once you are going in that direction, okay, and then it's best to understand a whole lot about that whole thing rather than just carry on with that. So I've got an introductory kind of book for that called Peace Gita. But even that book, I would tell people not to read from the mind. I would like you to speak it out when you read it. Okay? From the center, obviously. And slowly. Okay. To get it. Because all the Vedic knowledge was actually passed through speech and listening. Okay? It was not bookish stuff. Okay? This bookish thing is a Western thing. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, and it doesn't really actually transmit knowledge. It transmits information, okay, but not knowledge, okay, because you don't have the practical application of it. Just in the speaking of it properly, you get a more practical application out of it straight away, rather than just mentally trying to digest something. Because yeah, using the body is very important in all of your learning. Yeah.
Also kind of stuck with centering yourself. Is it really as literal as keeping your pose as centered and symmetrical as possible? Because how do you walk through life through your day and maintain that?
Maintain that? I mean, like you can definitely do that very easily, like because like if you're cooking, for example, right?
Yeah.
You can stand straight and do it straight, like
If I'm just holding one pan in my hand, I'm already not in center anymore.
No, but you'll put it down, you'll that thing. But you'll be graceful about it. Your other hand will be moving along with that hand. You're not just going to be like behaving like a polio patient when you're going to lift one hand like that. Your other part of the body can move too. Like if my one hand is moving, the other hand can move too to counterbalance it. Like in Tai Chi, when your one hand is moving, you're moving the other hand as well to create a balance field. So point is you're finding a balance in every action you do. Okay.
That doesn't actually mean being...
But you're still, you're always around the axis. Like you never leave your axis. You are totally conscious of your axis at all points of time. And you're balancing your body around that axis. Like even my hands are moving right now.
Yeah.
But they're moving around that axis. Okay. It's a dance. It's like a dance, but around the center. The whole life is a dance. The whole life is a dance. Like you have to be dancing all the time. So when you do something, you're dancing, but you're dancing in a centered way and graceful way. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, you.
Okay, back to that point of just, I can't get my head around it a little bit. So what if you're in a state of emergency or panic, or in life these things happen, you can't always be in a calm place?
Yes.
How do you keep centered?
Very good question. And the thing is that the more practice you have being like that when you are calm, when there is not an emergency, the more of a habit and a practice you make up, the more you can do that when the pressure comes to you and when the situation gets tough and things come at you, then that habit will take you through. And that practice, there's a power in practice and creating a habit, okay? And that will take you through any kind of situation.
There's something that takes time.
You just start like slowly, and then it becomes a part of your nature. You don't even have to think about it after a while, you know. It's just like creating a habit. You might have created bad habits for 15, 20 years. Then it takes 2-3 years to create a good habit.
I was just wondering, you said it's important to have the right diet, but is it different from every person, or is it something for everyone? Or?
No, there's a balanced diet which applies to all beings. Yeah. Yeah.
Can people with bad knees get centered ever?
Yes. Yes, they can. Yes. Yes, they can.
So everybody can get to the lotus,
Yeah.
Not lotus, just the cross-leg.
No, not lotus leg. Even cross leg, you don't have to be. People can be centered while keeping knees there. People, even when you stand, you can be centered. You can stand in a centered fashion, like a military kind of way.
But I can't be standing all the time if I want to relax.
Okay, that way you'll sleep too. That way you'll sleep as well. Okay, you'll sleep as well. So,
Sleeping in a...
no. You sleep half up on both sides.
Right. But
You
it's-
sleep one side half and
I thought-
other side half.
I thought that we have an involuntary movement. We position ourselves at the sleep and the body decides.
No, it's not like that. You can actually be conscious about when you're sleeping. You can actually be conscious.
Normally get very good at arms.
Yeah, but that consciousness will not come until you are conscious when you are awake. The more conscious if you're more conscious when you are awake, you'll be more conscious when you are asleep. Simple as that.